Center, EDC. Thank you so much. Keep jamming those hands. One more person, Mrs. Oluyemi Kalesonwo, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Lagos State. And the last shall be the first. Make welcome Otunwayo Sonia, the Executive Director of MTN Foundation. Thank you all so much for being here. And of course, thank you to everybody seated here. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. You took time out, no African timing. We are so proud of you. All right, as we proceed, we're having the opening remarks. Let's make welcome Mrs. Aishatu P. Sadoki, OON Director, MTN Foundation.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to stand on existing protocols already stated this morning. So here I come. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you all for taking time out of your very busy schedules to join us today. Our dear friends in the media, let me start by thanking you all for honoring our invitation and for your valuable support since the inception of the MTN Foundation. Through your incisive and objective reports, you have helped project the activities of the Foundation, providing feedback and highlighted areas in need of critical interventions. We appreciate your partnership and recognize that you are critical to the success of our projects and programs. This is why we have invited you to share our efforts in advancing women development in entrepreneurship space. Women constitute 50% of Nigeria's population, but only just 35% of us are involved in entrepreneurship in the form of micro, small, medium, and large enterprises. In 2020, only 47% of the working age women participated in the labor market compared to the 74% of men, a gender gap that has remained relatively constant since 1995. Women are active economic participants, but their contributions are not always recognized, rewarded, or encouraged. Women around the world face deeply rooted obstacles by achieving their potential at work and in other aspects of life. And sadly, Nigeria is not an outlier in this regard. The good news is that things are changing, albeit a little slower than I would like. The non-empowerment of women has been identified as a significant threat to the socioeconomic development. Hence, entrepreneurship skills for self-employment have become a priority for government at all levels and a key factor of economic growth and development in most nations of the world. Understanding the need to support women empowerment in business and provide them with some of the resources, opportunities, protections, and skills they need to achieve their full potential. The board of MTN, therefore, Foundation approved the rollout of the MTN Y'ellopreneur. This initiative will contribute to reductions in female unemployment and advance women development through training designed to enhance their entrepreneurial skills and establish female entrepreneurs with small business loans, and grants. I must confess, this is a cause I'm particularly passionate about, and I'm gratified that MTN is demonstrating its continued commitment to supporting women development in Nigeria through continued implementation of the MTN Y'ellopreneur initiative. I will leave further details to the Executive Secretary of the MTN Foundation, who will address you shortly. In closing, therefore, I'd like to welcome you all once again to this event and to thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for listening.
Please a round of applause for Mrs. Aisha Sadoki, and Director, MTN Foundation, for that beautiful opening remark. I love the fact she said yellow, because that's actually my line. So thank you, Ma, for reminding me. So when I say yellow, you all say hi. Yellow. Oh, it's not strong enough. Hello. Do you want to sleep here? Hello. Aha, with beautiful smiles. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. Thank you for that. All right, moving on real quick. Definitely MTN, you are doing amazing. The foundation itself, making sure they empower women, female entrepreneurs across Nigeria. Just in case you do not know, in 2022, this whole initiative started, and so far so good. I have benefited from it. Do you want to know how? I like that you're clapping. Do you want to know how I've benefited from it? I'll tell you, stick around. So if you run, I won't tell you. So wait till the end so you know how I benefited. In the meantime, let's quickly watch the MTN Foundation story. IBST, are you ready for me? Thank you.
At 4, MTN Nigeria embarked on a journey to give back to the society where it operates through its corporate social investment vehicle, the MTN Foundation. The goal was and has remained to improve the quality of life and engender sustainable development within our community through interventions in the areas of health, education, capacity building, youth development, and infrastructure deployment while providing top-notch services to our customers. In 2023, the Foundation upgraded and handed over 16 state-of-the-art science and technology laboratories in public secondary schools across the country. Scholarships were awarded to 1,010 high-performing sighted and blind students. Till date, over 13,000 scholarships have been awarded. The Muson Music Scholars Program, which is fully funded by MTN through the Foundation, has supported the aspirations of 458 scholars who have graduated since inception of the program. In a bid to empower business owners and entrepreneurs through ICT and business skills training, we upskilled over 5,000 young entrepreneurs across Nigeria in 2023 alone. We have supported 502 young Nigerians through arts and culture initiatives such as the Visual Arts Festival, LINCAF, and various other productions. Addressing a deep societal challenge, we trained 180 teachers across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria on the prevention of drug abuse. We also reached 27 million Nigerians through advocacy via our anti-substance abuse program, popularly known as ASAP. In 2023, we celebrated the installation of our 150th borehole and reached the milestone of upgrade in 180 primary healthcare centers across the nation since inception. Empowering women fuels progress, and through the Y'ellopreneur program, we trained 4,211 women on entrepreneurship skills, paving the way for economic independence for them. We also supported 147 SMEs with various funding opportunities through grants and loans. Under our What Can We Do Together initiative, we commenced the remodeling of 52 primary healthcare centers across the 36 states and Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. This intervention scope covers civil work, installation of 52 solar-powered boreholes, provision of consumables, medical equipment, and alternative power, solar and battery. We look forward to commissioning the centers in 2024. At the MTN Foundation, we are doing for tomorrow today. Together we have made and continue to make a difference in the lives of thousands of Nigerians.
A round of applause, please. MTN Foundation truly cares, and I'm so happy to be a part of this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's also please just make mention, welcome to a few persons who just joined us right now, please. Mrs. Olufunke Shilon, Director, Women Affairs Department, are you here now with us? Let's see you for recognition. Please, a round of applause for her. Also, Mrs. Olufunke, wow, you have namesakes. Okay, Ogunlewet, Deputy Director, Skill Acquisition and Development Unit. Please, a round of applause for her. And Mrs. Bolatito Jaji, Deputy Director of Poverty Alleviation Department. Thank you. You are so welcome. All right, as we proceed, I hope there's nobody that I'm missing out in mentioning your name. Please, if I've missed your name, I'll get back to it in a bit. All right, let's quickly have up here a presentation by Odunwayo Sonia, the Executive Director of MTN Foundation. Please, a round of applause for her.
Yellow. When I say yellow, you say MTN, really, not high. So it's MTN. Yellow. Yellow.
MTN.
Amazing. MTN indeed is a great organization, and for me, it's been a wonderful place, to build a career. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the MTN Foundation, and then we'll go into what really the Y'ellopreneur initiative is about. So we can start. I have my slides here anyway, so really this, permit me, can we just move these chairs to the side so that people can see? Thank you very much. Whoever is going to help us. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. And a good place to start is what we're about as MTN as an organization. A few years ago, we did launch our strategy framework we call the Ambition 2025 framework. I'm not going to bore you with it, but we believe that we should create shared value. And everything that we do derives from I call it our statement of faith. That's what I personally call it. And what it is it says everyone deserves the benefits of a modern connected life. And when we talk about the connectivity, it's beyond, the services we provide, is beyond the data and the voice services. It's about the fact that we are enablers, and we enable individuals connect with their dreams and aspirations. And so when you look through the pillars, I want to focus on the create value, shared value. That's the one in blue, and that's where the MTN Foundation really sits. At MTN, we believe that our success as a business is very much tied to the success of the communities that we operate in. And so when our communities do well, we do well. And that is what has driven, that is what informed the birth of the MTN Foundation. Next slide, please. The MTN Foundation, amazingly, we're 20 this year. We were, you can clap if you want to, thank you. And the MTN Foundation is 20. And some people are shaking their heads, not because they don't believe, but because they've been part of that story since this baby was, really a neophyte, like medical doctors will call them. And so we were established in 2004, very clear that we needed to impact the communities that we operate in. And so what we have on the screen is MTN Foundation's footprint across Nigeria. And that's to say that there is no state, we've run a number of projects, different types of programs, but there's no state in Nigeria that MTN, through the foundation, has not impacted. How does the foundation run? MTN funds the foundation fully by up to 1% of its annual profit after tax. And that is the donation that the foundation gets and is able to do, to carry on a lot of socioeconomic interventions. Next slide, please. I also think it's important to talk about our governance framework. Governance is very, very important to us at MTN. And so setting up the foundation, it was important that the foundation is run like as a standard organization. And so there's a board that oversees, the operations of the foundation. For us, corporate social investment or sustainability is not just another desk. It is serious business for MTN Nigeria, and that's why you see that we have a really solid governance framework. Now, our impact approach, because all that we do is driven by how we can scale, value, and impact within communities. We leverage on the theory of change, and it's a CSI sustainability framework. And what it is that we identify the problem we're trying to solve. Now, the problems we want to identify, we look at through two lenses. The first one is Nigeria's national priorities, because we believe that we're a catalyst, we're an enabler within the country. And so the first thing we look at those from the lens of the national priorities, which in Nigeria, as we know, is about health, is about education, youth development, and community development, and a few more other things. And then we also look at them through the lens of the United Nations SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. So what we do is not in isolation of what we're trying to achieve as a country or where the world is trying to get to. So through those lenses, we identify the problem that we're trying to solve. We identify our target audience in terms of the recipients. We like to call them recipients and not necessarily beneficiaries. They are recipients of what we have to offer. And indeed, it's always a privilege, to be able to offer communities and individuals some form of interventions. So we identify who our key audience or target is, and then we begin to bring to life the steps that are required to bring about the change. And of course, very important to us is the measurable effect. There's no point doing all of this and you can't measure, you can't report, you can't evaluate the impact. And not just because it benefits us as MTN to do that, no. But because we believe at the foundation that we're creating a proof of concept for other organizations so that they don't have to go through the whole works anymore. Once we've done it, so it becomes easier for them to just do the same thing or even leverage what we're doing or do something totally different because someone has gone that way before. And of course, for us, it's about long-term change of the impact of our goals. I left the slides behind. Can you move them? I think I'm ahead like 2 slides. Another slide. So here this is the lens of the UN SDGs. And what we found is that, yes, we directly contribute to achievement of about 7 SDGs, but indirectly, we contribute to them all, either by association, by the impact of what our recipients are doing, or the ripple effect of what we're doing in another sector. Next slide, please. Our impact over the years. Over the years since 2004, MTN has invested about circa 28.2 billion naira in various interventions and various projects over time. We've impacted over about 323 communities, very remote communities in far-flung areas that I bet some people in this room have never been to. I know if I ask how many people have been to Gombe, people are going to shake their heads and say, but those are the type of places that the foundation, we keep pushing the frontiers in those places because we believe that for us to thrive as a nation, then the people in those communities have to have a certain level or attain a certain level of well-being, basic well-being. Over time, we've impacted about 31.386 million lives. And I'd like to tell my team, these are the direct lives that we've impacted. We also run advocacy programs. And through our advocacy programs, we've reached close to about 79 million people, especially when we talk about the anti-substance abuse program. And of course, when you take the unique programs that we have run, we've run 50 unique programs, a lot of them replicated. So when I talk about unique programs, we're not counting the different intervention sites, the types of programs that we've run. And they vary from health programs impacting the Sickle Cell Foundation to the Fulani milk flow program in the north, where we enabled cattle rearers to improve on the milk flow and of course earn a living, a decent living, to Y'ellopreneur, why we're here today, to the primary healthcare center interventions and all of that. And some other projects we've run so far. Next slide. I think I've spoken to this really. We've done quite a number of interventions. You can get some of them, on our website when you do check. Next slide. Now, talking about the MTN Y'ellopreneur initiative. There are many initiatives that target women. And I'm glad I'm a woman and I'm existing at such a time as this. And I have 3 daughters. I don't have a son. So I tell them, the world is yours. It's just for you to do the hard work because there are structures, there are frameworks that support you and enable you to be who you want, to be. For us at the foundation, we thought it was important. About 2 years ago, we started thinking about, the concept to intervene and likely target women. And so we did go to field and we interviewed a few women. And we found that we encountered women who didn't look like the grants they had received or the type of exposure that they had actually had in life. And you would see somebody being a recipient of like 10 different grants, but there's no evidence. And then we began to realize that the major gap, yes, there's a funding gap, there's an access gap, but the greatest gap is the capacity gap. So people get this, they really don't know what to do with it. And so the money comes, it's used, and nothing changes. And so we thought it was important to come up with something that was different. And so that's how we came up with the Y'ellopreneur. And the unique thing about the Y'ellopreneur initiative is that it starts with a capacity building initiative. So we partnered with the last phase, and this phase too, we will continue to partner with the Enterprise Development Center of the Pan-Atlantic University. And we also thought, at MTN, we do things only because we can do it at an excellent level. And so we didn't want to shortchange the woman. That's the women that we're going to benefit. And we decided to partner with the very best, and that's EDC. And so the women will go through 4 weeks, will go through 4 weeks of virtual learning. And it's easier to learn virtually now. I think COVID has taught us that. We're very convenient for even the woman because the life of a woman can be very complicated and very complex. So the virtual learning, they learn various things from their bookkeeping to basic accounting to customer experience to sustainability, how they can drive sustainability in their businesses. And I must say that the curriculum is extremely rich. Last phase, we set out to train 500 women. Starters, we actually got about 43,000 applications. Even men applied, I must tell you. So we had to do a lot of screening to sieve out the men. I hope the men in the room don't think we're we're discriminating against them, but this is just for women. So we had to sieve out, and then we continued to filter through with the various criteria that we had. And so from 42,000, it was the pilot. We wanted to train 500. Eventually, about 463 closed out the training. They finished the training. And then by the time we got through to the others who are the 37 that didn't finish, I think the life of a woman happened to them. We had people who just had babies, they couldn't cope. We had people who, Nigerians, we love to hustle. We had people who their business was actually their side hustle. So they couldn't cope because they had regular day jobs. So they couldn't just cope, and so for various other reasons. And engaging the 500 women, it became clear some of them didn't want to even move on to the funding stage. Why? Because they said the training was just enough for them. And they really didn't think, they were already practicing. And the good thing about the training is that every woman who applies herself ends up with a business plan, which is something that is very difficult for a lot of women to achieve. So what you take away from the training is that you have a full business plan, your cash flow, everything ready. And beyond MTN, you can take it to a bank and it's bankable. So that really helped the women. And then we ran pitches that took them, we wanted to provide funding to 150 of them. Eventually, we got 101 from the pitch, after which we ran the pitch and we got 75 who qualified. At a point we were in between, do we drop the cutoff mark? But we felt at the foundation that if we continue to drop the cutoff mark, that's not what we're trying to achieve. We believe the women can do it, and they can actually even do it excellently well. And so we ran with the 75, out of which eventually we were able to disperse, make the funding available to 50 of them. We've picked a lot of learnings along the way. Some of them found it difficult to get guarantors, which is a big problem, and we changed it. They could do with only one guarantor. So we made a lot of amendments as we went by the first phase, and I believe we'll see the benefits of those in this phase. So largely, the Y'ellopreneur, we believe that it is a catalyst for economic development and of course for women enablement. And so for us, we want to focus. The focus really is on businesses that source their raw materials locally for obvious reasons. When the dollar happens to you, then you know that you don't have anything at all. So we want women who source their businesses that source their raw materials locally, women that are in agriculture, manufacturing, processing, circular economy type businesses, ICT and digital skills, things that we really don't need to go out of the country to run your business. And the interesting thing, which was at the last phase, is that a lot of people ask me, they say, why are you doing loans? Why don't you give people grants? And I say, you know what? I don't know thousands of them, but I've met almost 50 women who, like I said earlier, they don't look like the grants they've gotten. And so it's also a sustainability it's a sustainability strategy for us and even for the women. The ability to be accountable and know that when you use this well, a lot more women can benefit from the same pool of funds, because it can wear out an organization when you always have to dip your hands and bring out fresh funding. But the interesting thing is that the loan is almost like a grant because it's at 2.5% flat. So it's not really, we're not making interest on it. We're not in it because we want to make the interest. It's just to drive the culture of accountability and repayment. That's why we're doing that. Now, the interesting thing is that the women have 6 months of moratorium. So you don't start paying back until 6 months after. And you have 36 months. You have 3 years just to pay back. And I think really that's pretty much like you take your time and you do well, and you're not under any pressure. And I think another thing that, another part of it that is interesting is that when the women pay down on the loans, they get 25% of it back as a grant. So essentially, you're not repaying, everything. And this time around, in this phase, last phase, it was equipment loans of up to 2 million. And there's a reason why we also do equipment loans, because we want everything the seeds to go back into your business. So you identify a supplier. We had people who, and we'll see some of the testimonials, people who were poultry farmers, and their raw material, of course, are the birds, the live birds, and they got their supplier, and the money was paid to the supplier, and the birds, they got their birds, and they're doing well. And different types of businesses that we supported. So this time around, the women have access to up to 3 million naira in equipment grants. We moved it up from 2 million to 1 million, up by 1 million to 3 million. And that means at the end of it, when you finish paying back, you get, I think, 750,000 naira is given back to you. At least every woman can use that to run their overheads for a few months. And so really that's what the Y'ellopreneur is about. In this phase, MTN is investing about 600 million, and of the 600 million, about 450 million is actually for the funding. So that's what will go at 3 million naira each per entrepreneur at 150 women, and that gives you 450 million. And out of this 600 million, 112.5 million is what will be given back as, the grants to the women. So I think I wouldn't want to bore, next slide, I don't want to bore us with the whole governance around it, but there's strict governance around it. So today, part of what we're doing today is also opening and launching the call for applications. So we expect women to just keep applying. Yes, there are requirements. Your business should be about 2 years or 2.5 years, and you should have a minimum of secondary school living certificates, and you will see the requirements on the website, on the portal. And I don't want, next slide please. These are the drivers, and a lot has been said by Mrs. Sadauki in terms of why we must invest, in women. I don't want to go through that. We have implementation partners. We don't do that this alone. We're not a bank, so we're going to have an implementation partner that is a bank. Last phase it was Bank of Industry, so we're still going to have a bank as an implementation partner. EDC will be our capacity building partner. And the timeline for this is that we're starting today. We believe that by July we should have finished disbursing the loans. So we have timelines to what we're doing. And I think that's it. I think it's for us at the foundation, for us at MTN, we're thrilled. We will continue to invest in moving Nigeria forward. If you watched the video, for those that watched the video, we also do a lot on the side of health. Late last year, we commenced a program revamping. We've always worked with primary healthcare centers, but we're deliberately working on 52 primary healthcare centers, and I think MTN is funding that to the tune of about 2.3 billion naira, and it's the scope that is interesting. Some of these primary healthcare centers I think Nigeria has about 30,000 primary healthcare centers, but only about 9,000 are fully functional. And so it's important to have health at the grassroots level. So we're remodeling the buildings, we're providing equipment, we're providing training, and we've partnered with PISHAN, the Private Health Sector Alliance of Nigeria, to deliver this. MTN is funding, we're providing alternative power, and have I left any other thing out? But luckily that's what it is, and we're revitalizing these primary healthcare centers, and we believe by doing that, we move people closer to their aspirations, and we also as a business, we live by what we believe, that indeed everyone deserves the benefits of a modern, connected life. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Odayo Sonia, the Executive Director of MTN Foundation. Listen, your clap should be louder than that. If you're a woman here, be it you've benefited or not, this is something to help us, women, in our month. Yes, the International Women's Day is coming up, also Mother's Day, so this is a good time. So thank you so much, MTN. Thank you so much, MTN Foundation. And I'm excited that the money is now 3 million. Equipment loan, can I sign up, please, for my media school? Please, let me just drop that here. I think I'm going to partake this time around. All right, before we proceed to educate you furthermore, showing some videos so you can learn more about the Y'ellopreneur Capacity Building Initiative by MTN Foundation. I just want to quickly say, I mentioned something about benefiting from the MTN Foundation initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, please, Madam Odoanyo, allow me to do this for just 2 minutes. Do you like my outfit? This was made by a lady who took part in it. Although she's not a recipient, but she learned so much. And when she met me the last time I hosted, she said, please, they taught us to partner, that we should look for people that can partner with us. And she's just a designer, a dressmaker. So please, let me do 360. Ladies, Nikio is in the crowd. Nikki, where are you? Stand up. Let me sell your market. Oh yeah, that's the young woman right there who made this beautiful dress. So you see, what MTN Foundation is doing, they really care. And one way or the other, the women actually benefit, be it you're a recipient or not. The lessons learned with the EDC training, the program, it stays with you for life. And you will definitely reap the benefits of being a part of it. So thank you all for coming and for believing in the vision. It's time for us to play back a quick video, but before that, let me just make mention some important persons who have stepped in here with us. Mr. Charles Okonkwo, GM Enterprise Business MTN, please, where are you for recognition? Thank you. And also, Dr. Olawale Anifowoshe, actually Director, Programs and Partnership, Enterprise Development Center. Please, where are you? Okay, yes, we gave you GM role initially. We stepped you up. Sorry, sir. And also in our midst, Mr. Dennis Okoro, Director, MTN Foundation. A round of applause. And also, thank you, Mr. Dennis, for that. Mrs. Amina Oyagbola, founder, Women in Successful Careers, Whisker, is here. A round of applause, please. And also Mrs. Afiniki Manza, the Executive Secretary, Women in Successful Careers, Whisker, is here in the building with us. Thank you all so much. Thank you, madam. All right, it's time for us to educate you more about the Y'ellopreneur initiative. IBST, please, let's play the video now.
A nation is only as good as its people, and according to the National Bureau of Statistics, 49.95% of Nigeria's population are women. It then becomes imperative to care for this demography and empower them to play an active role in the nation's socio-economic development through their ideas, ventures, and entrepreneurial efforts. This informed the decision to set up the MTN Y'ellopreneur initiative, an initiative that seeks to contribute to the reduction in women unemployment and advance women development in entrepreneurship through capacity building and access to capital via loans, grants, and advisory support services for long-term business sustainability. The initiative targets female entrepreneurs across the country who display passion and commitment to self-employment and run an existing business of 2 years and above in the areas of circular economy, manufacturing, processing, agriculture, ICT and digital services, waste management, and so on. The focus is on businesses that source their raw materials locally. In Phase 1, 4,711 female entrepreneurs were trained in the fundamentals of business management and development. The training empowered them to vie for the opportunity to receive up to 2 million naira as equipment loans to grow their businesses. Equipment loans of over 94 million naira were disbursed to 50 female entrepreneurs. Upon full repayment of the loan, our Y'ellopreneurs will receive 25% of the loan value as grants.
All through the training, it actually helped me to scale down as to what I really need. So I need to be sure what I really need, the equipment I need at that time, and how to align it and how it's going to help my business improve on some of the processes that we have in place. And that was a major impact for me.
I wanted more out of the line. I needed funding, I needed to grow. And so MTN had that provision, that offer. They wanted to train men in entrepreneurship. And for me, I had never been in a structured environment where I had to learn entrepreneurship. So I felt this as an opportunity to improve on myself. I don't know how to run a business excellently well. That was what motivated me basically, to add value to myself, to be a better entrepreneur. It taught me how to be financially prudent, manage my finances excellently well.
Before now, my funding had come from family and friends, and from the little savings that I had while working in service. Going through this training, it has helped me to access funds. So MTN Y'ellopreneur has helped me to upgrade my business from being an informal business to a very formal business.
What motivated me to join MTN Y'ellopreneur initiative was the business education aspect, seconded by the financial enablement to scale up my business.
I learned to follow things to the end, knowing that this is what I need and this is what I want, helped me to push through all the difficulties and be able to get to the end.
This year, the Y'ellopreneur is set to be bigger and better. MTN through the foundation will train 1,000 female entrepreneurs with funding opportunities available to 150 of the trained women to the value of 3 million naira each. The applicants must have a registered small medium enterprise, a minimum of secondary school certificate. They must have been in business for over 2 years, with majority of their raw materials being sourced locally. At the end of phase 2, we hope to have directly impacted 5,711 female entrepreneurs, giving them a chance to be economically active citizens and essentially providing a better quality of life for themselves and indeed their families, while supporting the government's goals for increased inclusion in socio-economic activities. At MTN, we believe that everyone deserves the benefits of a modern connected life, and we know the Y'ellopreneur initiative plays a key role in enabling just that. We wish all interested participants the best of luck, and I personally look forward to hearing your success stories from this program.
A round of applause, please. Amazing. All right, moving on real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to have the Fireside chat session where you can learn more about it. But before that, let's quickly make welcome Honorable Mrs. Cecilia Bolaji Dada, Honorable Commissioner of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Lagos State, for just brief remarks, and then we'll kick off the Fireside chat. All right, please a round of applause for her.
Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a great pleasure to be here this morning with my team from the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. We are indeed very excited to be here this morning, especially when it has to do with the welfare of women and the development of women in Lagos State, because that indeed is our primary responsibility. For us as a ministry, we do everything possible to reduce the level of poverty in Lagos State and improve the socio-economic development of not just women, but also men and everybody who wants to get out of poverty in Lagos. I'm indeed very excited to be here this morning, having listened to Mrs. Odoayan Sawyer, because most of the things she talked about are things that we also do as a ministry. The difference is that ours is on-site and not virtual. We have about 20 skills acquisition centers where about 19 skills are being taught free of charge. And since 2019, over 21,000 students have graduated from those schools. We also have a short-term trainings, which is for 4 weeks on soft skills. When I say soft skills, skills that people do not need a shop to start such businesses. And during those trainings, most of our recipients usually already start making money from such businesses. You can imagine someone who has been taught how to do makeup and gele, and they're encouraged to go out Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays to event centers to tie gele for people, and they make like 10,000 a day, 5 days a week. For 1 month, they make 200,000. I'm sure some graduates do not even make that much. So we are very happy to partner with MTN, and we're also very grateful to MTN Foundation for this initiative. I hope and I trust that most of the recipients for this phase 2 will be from Lagos State. We have benefited from you in the past, because I was just told here by one of my directors that you had donated some equipment to about 10 of our skills acquisition centers. So we really appreciate you, and we hope that you will revisit such gesture again anytime soon. I want to congratulate you for this initiative, and I thank you for being partners in progress and in reduction of poverty and hunger in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ma. All right, are we ready for the chat? Are we ready? Let me just try this one more time. Yellow. Oh, you remember? That's so good. Okay, a round of applause for yourselves. All right, so I will be here on the stage, and once I call your name, please kindly proceed to the stage so you can join me for the Fireside chats. All right, just in case, can we go? All right, my name is Bamidele Vivian Osage, and I will be hosting this session. My panelists, I have very rich people coming through today. If you see them outside, please ask them for money. Tell them I sent you. They are very rich in knowledge, in a lot, but we'll get to it in a few minutes. Trying to buy some time here while they set up. In the meantime, please kindly look to your right and tell the person next to you, how are you? Please just ask the person sitting next to you, how are you? Please, we are in Nigeria. That is a very valid question right now. You understand, right? So just ask, how are you? What did they say? Did anybody say they are fine? Please, who said fine? Ah, okay, we are really in Nigeria. This is good. Mr. Joseph, please, I'm a woman. You should not be stressing me. All right, please, we need to quickly do this so we can proceed. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for taking your time. Mrs. Thelma Sholanke, the chairperson, Nigeria Office for Philanthropy and Impact Investing, is here with us. So let's just quickly have her brief remarks and then we'll proceed, please. We're begging. All right, welcome, Ma. You're owing us 50 million naira.
Good morning. Good morning. I actually came too early. I was here at 10, and the hall was empty. So I try to always be on time. So I left and I came back, but I do have another appointment, so I have to rush. I beg your pardon. As I was introduced, my name is Thelma Ekio Sholanke. I am the chair of the Nigerian Office for Philanthropy and Impact Investing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Domiciled in the Office of the Vice President, and the mandate of the office is to drive catalytic financing to MSMEs in 4 sectors: fashion, furniture manufacturing, renewable energy, and sustainable agriculture. And we will do that through strategic partnerships with like-minded entities across Nigeria and internationally. And I was very grateful to get the invitation from MTN Foundation, because we need indigenous organizations to reach out and partner with us. Our plan is to establish 12 shared office spaces and hubs across the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, 2 per zone. And we invited MTN to the official launch of my office in the villa. Thank you for honoring our invitation. So I'm here to return the favor. But I do hope that I saw what you're trying to do here, working with women. Being a serial entrepreneur and an impact investor, I have failed and I have succeeded. And I tell people all the time that the most important support I ever get are people who join me on the ground floor before I get all the limelight in what I'm doing. So the work that MTN is doing, giving what seems like a little amount of money, but is life-changing for new entrepreneurs, is extremely important. I hope that you see our office as a natural partner to scale what you're doing. Across the world, government plays an important role in corporate philanthropy and impact investing to provide a conducive environment. I was headhunted, seems like decades ago, to come to Nigeria and start the T.Y. Danjuma Foundation, built that, ran it, also worked for the George Soros Foundation. And one thing that was always missing in Nigeria was the role of government. And that's what my office is trying to do, to make sure that we provide access to organizations like MTN Foundation and convening power. And so this is just the first, I hope, of different ways that we will attend each other's events, sit down, craft something together that will make a difference in Nigeria. Once again, thank you for inviting me. I would have stayed longer if I came at 10, but now since I'm doing this now, I have to go to another event for women as well. But it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Thelma Shalanke, Chairperson, Nigeria Office for Philanthropy and Impact Investing. IBST, are you ready for us now? Are you ready? The fireside chat? 1 more minute. Countdown. All right. All right. Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bamidele Vivian Osage, media entrepreneur and media maven. I will be holding the fireside chat today with a few persons. Once I call your name, please kindly come up here on the stage so we can begin. Mrs. Amina Oyabola, founder, Women in Successful Careers, Whisker. Please, a round of applause. Coming next, Dr. Olawale Anifowoshe, Director of Programs and Partnership Development, Enterprise Development Center. Sir, you're going to sit here, madam, right here. Right next to me. It's about to go down. Coming up next is Mrs. Oluwafumilola Shelika, President, African Women Fish Processor and Traders Network, our Fishnet, Nigeria chapter recipient. Please say recipients, a round of applause. And the final person joining us, a recipient as well, Victoria King. Are you here? Join us, please. Looking good. Victoria, we're swapping outfits after this session. No, but you will just wear it for 1 hour and give me back. Yeah, well, take yours home with me. All right, let's begin.
I think you want you to switch it up.
The very first question, are we all comfortable? Are we okay? Say something to your mic. If you have a mic on you, say something, madam.
Hello?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Are we ready?
Hello?
All right, so I'm going to kick this fireside chat with a question for Whisker. How do you see the Y'ellopreneur initiative aligning with your organization's mission to empower and uplift female entrepreneurs in Nigeria?
Thank you very much for that question, and thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I think this is a fantastic initiative by the MTN Foundation. I think we should just give them another
round of applause.
It's an initiative whose time has come. It's a catalytic initiative, and I'm so delighted to have been given the opportunity to be here and to have been invited to be here, because I think the future of one way in which the intractable challenges that Nigeria has can be solved is through initiatives like this. Because gone are the days where, how many companies can employ how many people? We're a huge population. So it's only through entrepreneurship that we can really create jobs. And one, I think, low-hanging fruit really is women, which is why, the IWD theme of this year, inspiring inclusion and investing in women, which is what this project is all about. We are truly investing in women. Whisker as an organization, we also try to capacitate women, empower women by building their capacity through mentorship. But we also partner with organizations to drive entrepreneurship, corporate institutions, to enable them to build the capacity of their female customers and to prepare them in readiness for programs such as this. So I think that, what this project, the MTN Y'ellopreneur, will do beyond your own direct impact, and I think that has already been touched upon here, is that it will have a catalytic effect, it will have a contagion effect, it will encourage other people who haven't thought of how MTN has designed this program to also join the bandwagon, and that way I think we can solve our economic problems.
Please, a round of applause for her. Okay, next question. Obviously, it's coming to you, sir. Now, you've partnered with the MTN Foundation to train at least 4,711 female entrepreneurs in the first phase. What was the experience, and what would be your advice to potential applicants on how significant it is for them to complete the entrepreneurship courses? Can you hear him? Instagram?
were able to access money from other sources, not just from the program. So that meant that the program had exposed them to record keeping and being able to have a clear plan for their business, which are two very important things for you to be able to access money anyway. A final one, which is actually a testimonial from one of the women. The name of her business is Coders Enterprise. I remember her well because she said because of the program, she became more confident because there was a pitching component, which meant I should never pitch before in her life. Because of that pitching component, she became more confident to speak about her business. And of course, she went ahead to pitch in other places and get, access. So by large, it's very important as a woman, if you're going to come on this program, the benefit of completing outweighs that of not completing. So my charge to you is, if you apply for this program, be sure that you complete it, because at the end of it, you would certainly be better for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. A round of applause, please. And let me just chip this in real quick. MTN would actually provide data. So it's not a case whereby you'll be afraid that, oh, my data is running fast. They are giving you free data. So thank you for that, and thank you, MTN, for that as well. All right, the next question, madam, goes to you again. Don't worry, recipients, calm down. We'll get to you. We know you have a lot to share with us. I just need to quickly go through this. So as an advocate for social impact, how can NGOs and corporate entities work together to address systemic challenges that hinder the growth of women-led businesses in Nigeria?
So thanks again for that question. I think the solution to most problems in the world is partnerships. And I think the MTN Foundation philosophy has showcased the power of partnerships. Even the Y'ellopreneur is the partnership model. They didn't sit down and say they believe they know everything. No, they've identified all the critical partners, the EDC, the learning solutions, partners across board, to ensure that, this model and framework that they've designed and come up with is effective and impactful. So for me, I think PPP is the way. So if you say PPP, you're talking public-private partnerships. So public sector, government, private sector, MTN Foundation, CSOs, NGOs like Whisker and other, NGOs that exist, and other technical partners, because everybody brings their own unique strength, their own unique knowledge to the table. And through that mechanism, collectively, you make collective impact and you scale to be able to power forward. And that really is the way to go. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, what do? You go with people. So really that's the answer.
Thank you so much for that round of applause, please. And coming back again to this, I'll do this back and forth, but then ladies, I'll get to you. Quick one here. We did talk about the training. So what will be new in the aspect of training in this second phase of the initiative? Are we going to go through the same old syllabus, the same old curriculum, or is it going to be different?
So the curriculum definitely has been refreshed, and there are some important aspects given the economic environment, and it's important to start helping women to better appreciate their operations management, which many small businesses are suffering from right now. So we've refreshed that aspect. Additionally, there are some additional components, which includes the marketplace, which would be a physical component. Because after teaching these women, we also want them to be able to exhibit and showcase their products and services. And that becomes an important aspect as well. We also have another component called the shared fair. And the shared fair basically, we would have some to be virtual and some of them would be physical. But the idea is to look at some key components of regulatory aspects that affect their businesses and helping them to understand how they can plug into that, helping them understand packaging and branding, because all of these components amount to improved quality of their products and service, and of course how they will then ultimately perform in the market. So this in itself is a key component that will be introduced beyond refreshing the curriculum itself.
I like the idea. I will sign up. All right, recipients number one, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Please, just with gladness, boldly state your name so everybody here will never forget that you were part of the first people who received some. So please tell them your name for the record one more time.
My name is Oluwafumilola Shelika, and I'm a recipient of the MTN Y'ellopreneur initiative.
Thank you. All right, so your question. Now, could you highlight specific ways in which the Y'ellopreneur initiative has significantly influenced your entrepreneurial journey? And while doing that, how did the training impact your business? How has your business changed? What's the difference between then, now, and how is the growth so far so good of the business in general?
Good morning, everyone, once again, and thank you so much for this opportunity. Really, I'm so elated to be here, having to share my own experience, not just as an entrepreneur, not just as a president of a women organization, but as one that has followed through the process of this initiative. And for me, before now, I'm not big on having to follow processes because I get tired easily, which I think every woman, when you have so many things happening around you. But when I saw the adverts then, I got a bit interested. I think I had a bit of time and I shared it on all my platforms and insisted that the women I work with have to be a part of it. First of all, I'm glad to say all of them got their equipment. They followed through the process. About
round of applause!
Yes. And so, the difference in the initiative, having worked in the bank, going for a loan was a no-no for me because it wears one out. You have to meet the requirements and all of that. And initially I was like, no. But reading through what the Y'ellopreneur initiative was all about, I got interested that, okay, this is not something that's going to put me under pressure. And then it's for my equipment. So it's something I get to see. It's not like they give me the money and then I go. The biggest part that got to me, which I've been an advocate of, is not just about giving people money. The capacity building is very key. Because if you give them the money, with them not having the wherewithal, knowing what they need to do with it, it's a problem. Because the money could be used for something else entirely. And then at the end of the day, the business is either it stops or the growth just remains on the same, for so long, at the same stage for so long. So the initiative for me was top-notch because it was well explained and it's not really putting anyone under pressure unless you want to put yourself under pressure. Then talking about the curriculum, when I started business, we were big on somebody gets to write your business plan for you. Nobody wants to sit down and write business plan. And then, yes, having done some other capacity building, yes, they will tell you how to do it, but there was no template that you need to follow to actually a step-by-step, broken down DIY. It's not about the ambiguity of the words you need to put into it. So that was really big for me. And then for pitching, it was like I run away from pitches because half of the time, the minute you see the faces of the judges, you go, oh, can I do this? You tend to forget everything you had rehearsed. But this, it helped me do my deck myself. Yes, they've given us not a template now, but it was more like a guide. Every other time your pitch deck for Tony Edemino, there was a guide. It wasn't a guide, but there was a template. So following through at times is always difficult. But for this one, there was a guide for me. I did it myself. So it was like, it's in my head. So that was very big for me because I'm doing this by myself, so I can get to speak with it. And then my confidence rose from maybe a 5 to like 7.
Oh, we can tell.
Yes.
We see it, right? Okay. I like that. You see, this is the beauty of the Y'ellopreneur initiative. You've not only helped your business, but right now you're bold, you're confident, you're a woman. That's what's up. All right, introduce yourself as well, please. Can you hear her?
Hi, everybody. My name is Victoria King. I'm the founder, CEO, design head of the Victoria King. So literally, what you see me put on right now, I made it, and I produce for several mini brands as well. Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Sorry, you're still shy, I can tell. All right, a question for you. Tell us, we need to know so everybody can hear, did you receive your equipment loan? And is it what you needed to help grow your business? Like, did you get exactly what you needed for your business? Also, are the repayment terms and conditions reasonable and flexible for you to be able to pay back? Transparency time.
Oh my God. First things first, I want to thank MTN because as at the time I, got in contact with the press, I think there was a press release before applications were to be sent in. I just finished from civil, because what I studied in school, civil engineering, looked at the entire situation of the country and, because of the kind of go-getting spirit I have, I said, you know what, it's going to take me a while for me to climb the ladder of, engineering, looking at, as a fresh graduate, you're more or less like, everything is more or less like very high to reach because you already know the kinds of politics you have to play to navigate through, certain industries. So I just reasoned out what I could use my hands to do and what I know I could push without any extra, you still need to have that kind of extra, but at least with my own and God's backing, what I could push for a while. And I moved into fashion designing because I knew that one thing I love to do was to look good and to make other people look good as well. So by moving in, I started with a deficit account. I finished from civil. I wasn't too strong on business knowledge. I hate financial accounting. I hate anything that has to do with balancing sheets, inflow, outflow.
But you like money.
Everybody likes money. Well, for me, money was a tool, yeah. Why I said I received even more than the loan, and why I started by thanking MTN, is because at that juncture, I had grown this brand, that's the Victoria King. I had grown it for 2 years. Like I said, I started with a deficit because the amount I planned to use to start up the entire business, get my packaging intact, get my branding intact, it was not enough. I had to borrow from my friend, who is now late, and paid her back with ease. And that just told me one thing. It told me that, okay, even though I'm not so, strong on the bookkeeping, the this, the that, I have a way of getting an amount and multiplying it. And after that 2 years, first year, I literally ran everything by myself. And the second year, I got in a fantastic team. Mind you, all my staff were all women. We're all women from different...
Nice, please, a round of applause. She's paying it forward.
Different spheres of life. And before I even took each and every one of them, I had to pray. I prayed to God that, God, these are lives that are being held under my, my hands, they are being held in my hands, they are being held under me, that please, I wouldn't want any of this, to be a flop. And after the 2 years was when I stumbled on this Y'ellopreneur initiative. I mean, there's a popular adage or popular quote that says you're 100% of the chances the opportunities you miss, the opportunities you fail to hop on. And I followed through. Even though I saw there was a call for, they put everything there was a call for this, there was a call for that, they listed everything in black and white, there's going to be shortlisting of candidates. I just had this push in me that even if I wasn't going to get to the end stage, I would benefit something from it. And, I would get to network with other people that at least I could, push my brand out there to them as well. So yes, I got the equipment loan and I got even more because I was subjected to rigorous, I call that EDS training rigorous because it wasn't something I was used to. And for me to even get a book, every time we had that training, I got a book. I wrote down, I jotted things, I made sure to put everything into practice. Honestly speaking, I don't regret any decision putting my application down because at the end of the day, going through the pitching, going through what have you, even the stages where it felt like this thing was dragging, because a lot of women, like my Fumi said, a lot of people don't like to follow process, they don't like to follow protocol. Even though I pushed myself and I said, you know what, I have started this thing and they've taken me this far. I cannot come this far to back down. So yes, I got way more than the loan. And was it what I needed at that point to grow my business? With the entire exchange rates, the inflation, what have you, I'm looking back at it and I'm like, yes, I would hop on it times 5 if I'm given any other opportunity to do so. Because even as my counterparts are complaining, they're complaining about the rise in, raw materials, they're complaining about this, they're complaining about that. I am just seated, folding my arms, folding my legs, and I'm just watching like, yes, like I really made hay while the sun, shined. And I thank MTN, I really thank MTN. And the EDS training, I thank MTN and the EDC, sorry. I thank MTN and the EDC training. I think it was through the Lagos Business School. Very lovely. It's something that I wouldn't have imagined myself go through at all. And I'm really honored to have been selected.
Thank you so much for that, Victoria. If we allow Victoria will just keep telling us her life history, how she got there, how she decided to wear pink and green. Next time you're wearing yellow, please. Okay, ladies, next time, all yellow. Let's make this place bright. All right, let's throw this out now to the audience. I'm sure there's a recipient in the crowd, 1 or 2. If you're a recipient, let me see your hand up. Recipients in the crowd, anyone? Don't be shy. We've given you something, come on. Okay, I have a question for one of you. Who wants to take the question? Anyone? You? Beautiful, Mama. All right, so I'll just ask you the question. Please get a mic across to her. She's right there with a beautiful baby. Goo goo gaga. Should I sing Baby Shark? Okay, I'm just playing. All right, so quick one. Reflecting on your experience. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, reflecting on your experience, what advice would you give to the new batch of women entrepreneurs joining the Y'ellopreneur program, and how can they maximize the opportunities presented to them?
All right, thank you so much. I will start again by saying thank you to MTN for this wonderful and amazing opportunity. Without MTN, I don't think my business would be where it is currently, because at this point we are opening a store and a salon for Sheldon Naturals, all because of this loan. This grant, I've not started paying back, but the return I've gotten, that is what has enabled me to open this salon and the store we are opening very soon. Okay, what I would tell the new intake is your business about to take a new turn. a new shift and a lift to be serious about. Our advice is you don't focus on the grant alone. Take the training, very important, because there's one thing to have the money, there's another thing to know what to do with it. If the training of the EDC we're given is not taken well, you will not be able to manage the money given to you. So the training is very important, and then the grant is just what it is. Thank you so much here.
What's your name, please, for the record? Your name?
Ayola Michael Ojo, the founder of Sheglo Naturals.
Please, a round of applause for her as well. I'm looking forward to partnering after the session. So while you're here, don't forget you're also here to network. You never can tell who has something that you need and who has something that you could give or take from each other, one way or the other. You wanted to add something?
Yes, there was something I actually left out as regards my own equipment. And I really want to say thank you, MTN. I don't know any one of us that gone to the fish markets where the all the big fish, and then you see those men cutting it with cutlass. Oh yeah, that's what I do. I get fish as tall as my height. I think I was sharing a video to Victoria today, and she was like, wow, was that you? I said, yes. One of the equipment I got was a cutter that now it makes it a lot easier for me to cut my fish. And also, due to the electricity, I don't want to use the word issues, the freezer I got is solar powered, and it just eased off my business a whole lot more. Because now I'm here, and in my head, I'm not bothered, would they really cut that fish the way I want it to be cut? Because yes, we've been through the training on how to cut it with the cutter. I was already building muscles, but now I think I'll get back my lady shape. Thank you.
A round of applause for her. Okay, so I can see something here. We do have one of our project partner, our commercial bank. Is Zenith Bank here? Zenith Bank, are you in the building? Okay, please kindly get the mic across. I just have a quick question for you so we can wrap up the session, all right? Mike, thank you. All right. Madam, please state your name for the record.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Uju Ume of Zenith Bank PLC.
All right, Madam Uju, please, I have this question for you. Given the opportunity to play the role of an implementing project partner, what would be your contribution to the initiative, and what are the plights faced by SMEs, and what solutions would you proffer to the SMEs?
Wow, thank you, MTN, for this opportunity. I think we just learned from what the recipients, that's the word MTN uses for beneficiaries, I don't know why. So when the recipients were speaking, a number of things that we picked from their presentation. One is the fact that they've been able to formalize their business. That's one. The other one is that they took a lot of learnings that had helped them to improve on what they do, to enhance their business and help them to accelerate, right? And then the other one is the fact that MTN also provided funding that helped them to grow. Exactly what we are doing as Zenith Bank. So I see a good collaboration if we get on board the discussion with MTN. What are we doing at Zenith Bank? At Zenith Bank, we have a specialized product for SMEs. We have a product specifically designed for women, all in a bid to help small businesses to address the key challenges that they have today. And we know what they are. I just started from what the recipient has talked about. Okay, so what are those things? They have challenges in skills management, so they need to learn. They have challenges in getting finance, so we have something special for women, right? So how exactly are we going to be doing this? After MTN had finished, we see a situation where we continue from where the MTN has stopped, because all of what MTN is bringing to the table, which is finance, which is training, which is advisory, we already do that at Zenith Bank. Currently, we have a platform where we educate small businesses every month. We just finished one, we just had one this month, where we even had our Deputy Managing Director speaking to business owners, and we call that SME Learning Series that happens every month, right? We also have a platform specially designed for small business owners where they could go and take benefit of the offering, the value propositions that we have for small businesses, helping them to address some of the challenges that they have. Small businesses are able to get discounts, right? So somebody said that they've been able to formalize their business. On that platform, we're providing small businesses digital solutions, right, that they can access, even at discounted rates. Part of what we're also doing on that platform is that small businesses are able to, because of financing, a lot of businesses they're not able to pay for, let's say, an accountant or an auditor on a permanent basis. So we're saying to you, you can come to us at Zenith Bank, and then you get an accountant on demand, or a tax consultant, or a digital marketing professional, and then you get a discount, to be able to help you minimize your expenses and all. After you're done with MTN, also, we have a specialized loan for women called a Woman Loan, at very competitive interest rates. Before now, it used to be single digits, but I tell you that the loan is still very well priced, right? Knowing that the economy is a bit shaky, but still a very competitive rate that small businesses will be getting that loan at. What else do we do for them? We have digital solutions because we're encouraging them to also, somebody talked about formalizing business. So we expect that you should be able to take inventory of your business. So we have solutions, that help businesses to digitize. So you're able to monitor your inventory, for instance. You're able to do your accounting, do as little as your balance sheet, your P&L, all of those things are available. Those are the kind of support that we'll provide. Additionally, for the people who are in technology, if you recall, Zenith Bank will have this tech fair that happens every year. So by saying that even for the people who are going to be winning out of this MTN platform, we'll be able to also make them part of what we do at the tech fair, and help them to find investors, to invest in their business, and a lot more that we can bring to the table because we are Zenith. Thank you.
A round of applause, please. You took me to school there with everything. I'm like, okay, I'll go here. All right, we'll do that. Oh, you do this? Oh, they also do that. Okay, it's fine. It's all right. Please, if you do have questions, we're opening now the question to the audience. If you do have any question, please feel free. Just raise up your hands. We'll get the mic to you. You want to say something?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you asked a question about when you talked about the transparency.
Yes.
And I think none of us really attended to that. It just occurred to me now. Okay. And really, of a truth, when you're signing your contract, you see it there. We have started paying back the interest rate, and really it's 2.5% flat. You can never get it better. And then also in the contract that we're signing, it's written there that 25% of it after repayment comes back to us as a grant. So for real, get me quoted on that. Yes, the way they have said it is, that's what we have signed on in our contract. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Hashtag MTN cares.
Yeah.
I love this. The transparency is out there. All right, please, if you do have any questions, so we can quickly wrap it up and be on our way out. Any question from the audience? We're throwing it now open to you. Okay, so we've all been enlightened so far, right? No question? No question. This is beautiful.
No question. Can I just make
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just a small contribution I just thought I should add. To enhance this fantastic initiative by MTN. One of the things that, just to show the gap in terms of, percentage of female population vis-a-vis, the overall population. Did we know that only 1% of women access procurement contracts? Mm-hmm. So what I'm thinking, listening to everything that's been said today, and it's been a beautiful morning, is that maybe the next step again is for MTN to also advocate that recipients from the MTN Y'ellopreneur should be considered by private sector organizations for procurement contracts to help to scale their businesses. Just a suggestion.
Thanks so much, Ma, for the suggestion right there. All right, so having said that, since we don't have any question, please, on that note, oh, we have now. Nene, is that you?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, mine isn't actually a question. I'm part of the recipients, though she has a question over there. And I know some people might be asking, what if you go through all the process, but you don't still get to receive the funds? Like I said, I'm part of the recipients. I went through all the process. I didn't get the funds. But did I lose out? No. Never. When I was being interviewed, I said that one of the things that this gives you is the visibility. I've enjoyed so much visibility for my business. By the way, I'm the founder of Don and Calista Garments. We produce and customize uniforms and promotional wares. And I've so much enjoyed visibility. I remember one day I posted that, I'm part of the MTN Y'ellopreneur, and I actually got a call from a company for us to produce for them just because I mentioned MTN. And what that just shows me is, why that is very important to me is because I keep saying that if MTN sees my business worthy enough to be invested in, then there is something about it. It just gives you that credibility as a business. So I just want to encourage everyone here and everyone listening and watching, even if you don't get through the whole process to eventually get the equipment funds, you are not losing absolutely anything. I was invited by EDC to be on radio. I also got calls from that, thank you. And after that, the radio station called me back, and I had 2 more sessions with them on Inspiration FM. So there is a whole lot to gain from being here. Victoria mentioned something about making hay while the sun shines. By the time we were sending our invoices for the equipment loans, I sent for a machine that was 750K. I didn't get it. By the time I was ready to buy it, it was 1.5. I kept regretting. I bought it last week, but I just kept regretting that, that I should have just, gotten it, made hay while the sun shone. So I just want to encourage everyone, just keep moving on, because again, part of the things that helped me get it, yes, my husband was part of it, but at the same time, the businesses I also gained from the visibility I got from this whole process also helped build my business a lot more. So thank you very much, MTN. I've never got to say thank you officially. I think this is my way of just saying thank you to MTN Foundation, and thank you to all the partners. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nene Azubike. I think you lost your voice from telling people about us, right? Yeah, we see that. And shout out to every single recipient, the Y'ellopreneur recipients phase 1, and for those who are able to make it here today, Oluwafemilola Shelika, Tosi Omolore, Victoria King, Vicky Ade, Justina Bagila, Dewalonse, Grace Ayola, Bimbo Olukosi, Nene Azubike, and of course, Mbeo Makuye. So a round of applause for them, and we hope that you do us proud, and we see results in future. So, Edith, you have one final thing you want to say?
Yes, I think it's, I'm so happy, especially listening to the 2 recipients talk about their experience. And I think one important aspect I forgot to mention that is new is the business advisory component for the recipients. It would be very important that I mention that a good number of them it's important I mention that a good number of them would also receive business advisory from experts to help them to properly fine-tune the ideas they have about how they can take their business to the next level. And I think that component itself, ordinarily, if you're going to come to us to ask for it, you might not be able to pay for it. But this becomes something that you get courtesy of MTN Foundation in this program. So I just wanted to, for free. Yes, for free.
I said I'm signing up. You could think I'm playing. You just see me here next year, recipients. On that note, we are done with the Fireside Chat. Please, a round of applause. Oh, we still have a question. Wow, we're going to be here today for a long time.
No.
Okay,
Just
last question.
Okay.
My name is Ifoma Oji. I'm a reporter with Voice of Nigeria. So I listened. It was beautiful what MTN is doing. The women are looking so beautiful and bright. So we can see that it paid, to be part of the Y'ellopreneur. But the thing is that it's mostly for lettered women. And we know that there are many women who are not really educated, but they have, business acumen. So I want to know if there is something for them, for women like that, rural women, grassroots women, because I've been the advocate for years. Then I have another question for the recipients. Okay, it's beautiful that as a woman you're groomed, but there are other women who also should be groomed. So because you got, the grant and all, some other people didn't get it. So I want to know, now that we are having a new set, then your set, a kind of follow-up mechanism to build up women who have passed through this process so that they are not left out, as you continue to grow. Is there something like that that you're doing, to help other women?
Beautiful question.
Thank you for that question. And I think my answer is that, we can't be everything to everybody. That's the truth. Not because we don't want to do it, but there's just so much in terms of your resources. We don't have limitless pockets. We don't have. But you do make a very valid point. The rural woman, what happens to her? And it's perhaps something I must tell you. I think we had a conversation about 2 weeks ago or thereabout. We will think about it, but we have to leave here being clear that we can't be everything to everybody. But I think it's also a call and a challenge to every one of us here, where we might find ourselves in cities today. I'm not from Lagos State. My state is very far from Lagos State. But we're all here. Are we looking back? So companies can do what they can do, but even as individuals, are we looking back? Some of these women, all they need is a 20,000 naira, and you won't believe what they are able to do with that. But you and I living in the town, we think 20,000 can't even get an Uber or something. Some of them is a 50K. So this is something we all must. There's something called individual social responsibility, and I'm an advocate of it. We all must now, look back. But yes, we will carry the rural woman in our thoughts. And if the opportunity, opens up, then we do something for them. And just to say, you asked the second question. I know it's for the, and I think a simple answer to that, I hope I'm not preempting you, is an alumni. Something like that, which I know we're trying to do something, but it's also very important for you, the recipients to come together, do something. For all you know, what we want is that you people will come together and actually host a version of Y'ellopreneur for other women. And so we're paying it forward and, just giving back in many ways. And some of the things we're also looking at doing, I know I didn't mention it, is because a woman needs a community. Every human being, really. And that's why you have the likes of Whisker, you have Wimbys, you have, all those communities. So we're hoping and believing that the Y'ellopreneur can be a pipeline into those communities. We won't believe what happens in those communities. Women are trained to become board members, to take board seats. They're trained in business, and you just keep getting support. So that's one of the things we want to do, to make the Y'ellopreneur a pipeline into these organizations. Thank you, but I'm sure they will answer the question.
I think
yes, sir.
I see something.
I just want to give the voice of an elder. All of us here who are urban trained, urban schooled, when it is convenient to talk about the rural woman, whenever it's convenient, the rural woman, how many of you in your own villages have tried to really find out the needs of your aunties and uncles who come under this general definition of rural women? How many of you have tried to look into that woman who sits on the floor in the local market with selling available pepper or sugar and asking, auntie, is there anything I can do to help you do what you're doing better? How many of you journalists here have taken governors to task? You're journalists, you said you studied whatever journalism you did. All you do is to collect a paper from a governor and go and publish it. How many of you have asked searching questions to a governor or a ruler, whoever he is, or to a local chief? What do you do to these people who all have local government committees, all sorts of things? All they do is sit down and share money. And then we come to MTN or any corporate organization, we say, what are you to rural women? Which rural woman will go through the EADC program? Which education? But yes, we have the language of communication at that time. If you know anything, history of Grameen Bank, how did it start? Somebody started giving women 5,000 to grow their business. Those women grew and were able to pay back in no time. From that, they started the Grameen Bank. It starts with a stone throw in the crowd, like a ripple. Let us stop deceiving ourselves. What is governance all about? You have your governors. You don't ask them certain questions. All you do, gather when they do a roundabout, you sit 10 million to launch a roundabout of 5,000. And you say you will be doing it for us. Why don't you get them to answer real questions? What they do to the community is not their personal money. It's your money. Let us stop this deceit. We don't tell ourselves the truth. We don't. That's why I don't like so many people talking to me about what they do or what don't do. Start from yourself. When you go back over the weekend to a rural community, go and see that your poor auntie. Give her 10,000. Increase the quantity of beans you buy to make your account. Increase the level of corn you can buy to make your account and all that. That is where it starts. Let us be each other's brother's keeper and stop all this urban rubbish. And thinking that country stops in Lagos, Enugu, Port Harcourt, or Kaduna. We have people in the rural area. I come from rural area. From February 10 to 28, I decided to go to my village. The longest I've stayed for some time. And I saw that people, my security man, the son came back from school and said, Daddy, we haven't eaten since he came back from school. I noticed the wife and they've not been cooking. But that boy was bold enough to hold my hand. It broke my heart. I called the father and said, you work for me. If you had difficulties of feeding your children, why don't you come and talk to me? And it happens to everyone. Please let us, even your gate man here in Lagos, your house girl, how do you treat her? Let us stop all this deceit. This is not the Nigeria I grew. I grew up in a Nigeria where, as a laborer's son, I was in Calabar, was given a colonial scholarship in 1958. And they sent me to England without knowing anybody. And no Nigerian of my age will say he studied on his father's money. In our own time, in the 40s and 50s, if you happen to go to university, either in your local government bursary, or state government scholarship, or colonial government scholarship, they've all come back and nobody gives scholarship. No local government chairman can give a scholarship. All the billions, every day you're having $3 billion budget. Let us stop the foolery and be serious for once. And take out all these contraptions, executive governor, professor, this, doctor, this. You are a human being. When you allow what you acquired to take over your life as a human being, you lost it. Thank you very much.
I didn't need to say a round of applause. It's there. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate the nuggets. By the way, if you don't know who Daddy is, that's Mr. Dennis Okoro, Director, MTN Foundation. Thank you, sir, for that. So, ladies, do you still have something to add to the question that
I would
was
like
asked?
to add something.
Okay, please.
I don't know if this is working. Can you hear me? Okay, that's fine. You know, the question that you asked, more or less what MTN is doing. Because I watched an infomercial that MTN put out there, you know, highlighting the different parts, the different places in Nigeria that MTN has started, you know, embarked on several, you know, projects, several works, you know, to affect the communities. I mean, they explain to us that they go deep into communities. And truth being told, this MTN Y'ellopreneur initiative, for me, like I said, employing as many as, you know, I can carry, I employ different people from different women from different backgrounds. Trust me, before they started working with me, before some of them started working with me, they had not touched up to a particular amount. And by so doing, by these kinds of you know, initiatives, I'm able to scale up. Likewise, my counterpart, she's able to scale up and also affect the lives of people that she employs under her. Because at the end of the day, it's more or less like a ripple effect. You can bring, you know, people to where there's plenty, but you can't force them to actually participate. But here are people that are trying to, you know, participate and pump back into what they are working in and working on, and also to give back to the community in the best way they can. I feel like, just like what Daddy said, have people actually gone to meet these rural women to ask them what truly they might not even want, they might not see the EDC training as something that is beneficial to them, but you just explaining to them that, oh, okay, don't put your wares like this, put your wares in this manner, or you just giving them what you can, honestly, might be more than enough boost, like more than enough booster for them to actually take what they are doing to the next level. And for me, I feel like that's how we can even get everyone started at ground level.
Thank you for that. Like Mrs. Oluwafunlola, you made mention about using a certain tool to now cut your fish.
Yes.
Instead of the regular, just use the
cutlasses that I
think
use.
that also adds to it, because they probably didn't know there was something like that.
Yes.
But now they've seen it. I'm sure you have a few workers with you that will also be aspiring to get such equipment
Exactly.
when they have their own personal businesses. But I love the fact that we have a lot to share and talk about. Do you still have something to add? Because we need to.
Yeah, I wanted to address what she said about. Okay, with the NGO that I work with is actually, we're in 44 countries in Africa. It's an AUI initiative, an African Union initiative, and what we've been able to do, rather than thinking those women that are not lettered are being cut out of investment or initiative that are not capturing them. That's why the cluster initiative had come up, whereby all these women come together as one, and then a particular thing is being shared with them. Like we do fish handling and good manufacturing practices trainings for these women. Most of the landing sites in Lagos, I go on the water to go train them, and we start with what they have. The level at which MTN Y'ellopreneur initiative is way high for them. So we need to start from where they are. What exactly can we do to change what they're doing as individuals first? So it's not about bringing them on board this Y'ellopreneur initiative, but there are other things that could be done to help them as individuals. And just like you rightly said, being the first group of the recipients, definitely an alumni is in place and would help us to be able to give back and to help them to attain that greater heights that they have in mind too. Thank you.
And on that note, we are done. Thank you so much. Please make a round of applause. Just jam your hands as we we all go back to our seat. Thank you so much, Mrs. Amina Oyagbola, founder, Women in Successful Careers, WISCA, Dr. Olawale Anifowoshe, Director of Programs and Partnership of the Enterprise Development Center, and Mrs. Oluwafunmilola Shelika, President, African Women Fish Processor and Traders Network in Nigeria, and of course, Victoria King. A round of applause for them. We are done with the session. Thank you so much. Let's quickly take pictures. Group pictures, group pictures. How would they know we're here? We need to take pictures. Yes, I'll just stay in the middle. Say MTN. All right, thank you. Now the moment we've been waiting for. A round of applause for them as they leave the stage. Thank you all so much for that beautiful session. Okay, are we ready? IBST? All right, let's take a look at the call for application for the Y'ellopreneur Phase 2.
So my name is Ayola Michael, and I'm the founder of Shegu Naturals.
The Y'ellopreneur impacted my business a whole lot.
I got a 2 million naira grant with MTN, and with that grant, I was able to get equipment for my business.
I took up this application and I got funded for my business.
Join the ranks of visionary women who are reshaping the future. If you want your business to flourish, MTN is ready to support you. Y'ellopreneur Phase 2 will see 1,000 female entrepreneurs go through entrepreneurship skills training, and 150 businesswomen will secure funding support of up to 3 million naira each.
I'm a proud beneficiary of the MTN Y'ellopreneur initiative.
Apply now at mtn.ng/Y'ellopreneur between March 5th to March 30th, 2024. And get ready to take advantage of this opportunity.
My name is Naya Zubike, the founder of Don and Calista Garments.
So my name is Ayola Michael, and I'm the founder of Shegu Naturals.
The Y'ellopreneur impacted my business a whole lot.
I got a 2 million naira grant with MTN, and with that grant, I was able to get equipment for my business.
I took up this application and I got funded for my business.
Join the ranks of visionary women who are reshaping the future. If you want your business to flourish, MTN is ready to support you. Y'ellopreneur Phase 2 will see 1,000 female entrepreneurs go through entrepreneurship skills training, and 150 businesswomen will secure funding support of up to 3 million naira each.
I'm a proud beneficiary of the MTN Y'ellopreneur initiative.
Apply now at mtn.ng/Y'ellopreneur between March 5th to March 30th, 2024. And get ready to take advantage of this opportunity.
Thank you. We're back. All right, calling up real quick, two gentlemen to come talk about a presentation for value proposition opportunities. Calling up first, Mr. Charles Okonkwo, the GM Enterprise Business, MTN.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Please permit me to stand on all existing protocols. I came in a bit early, so I've been privileged to enjoy some of the conversations that have been ongoing. Let me start by saying that, some of the things you see today is not incidental in any way. It's a strategic focus for MTN. We're blessed in MTN to have one of the best boards, one of the most passionate board members, also supported by our very active CEO that pushes and moves everything that he believes in with passion. Now, what you see here today, really around focusing on women and Y'ellopreneur, is something that we took a step back, I'll say 2-3 years ago. and the CEO focused on equality, inclusion, of course, and diversity as a core focus for him. You will see today that what we are preaching here is something that we've done internally. Today we have a leadership that is almost 50% or even more, right? Women that over men. Today's event is very strategic. And let me start by saying that I represent the business arm of MTN, right? We focus on understanding the business needs of all the key business segments, right? By business segments, I mean all the growing businesses, the large enterprise, and the public sector. And we try to come up with technology interventions that can solve these business problems. Emphasis on business needs and using technology to actually address those needs. Just on the lighter note, most of my, me and my male colleagues, we always say that there's no better time to become a female than now, right? Because there's a lot of focus that has been given, and validly so too, because when we look at the environments today and we see what the women are doing with the little that they have, you just imagine what they can do when you empower them. And I think that's the reason why our board has taken that strategic focus to actually pay attention to this very vital segment of the space, because we believe it can be a catalyst for growth. The other part is just then just go down and say to ourselves, businesses today, what do they really want and what do they need? We took a strategic step as MTN Business a couple of years back, and we've been focusing, and when I say MTN Business, it's just the business, the arm of MTN that is focused on solving problems for businesses. And we asked ourselves, beyond the documented evidences, the likes of the Smithan reports, the MBS, to really understand some of those needs that they proclaim and they say businesses truly face. We realized that as we engage the businesses, some of these businesses, when I say these businesses are focused on, and I think most of us here fall under that, it's the micro, small businesses, and sometimes we actually draw out a part that we've called the SOHO businesses, right? And we realized that some of these needs that have been documented, things like access to finance, access to capacity building, access to market, access to infrastructure, there was another layer that needed to be understood, that this broad layer really was a bit high level. And when they say access to funding, what do they mean? Funds, banks will argue today that funds are available, but nobody to. So we went deeper and they asked, really, what do they want? They want cheaper, more stress-free access to this finance, right? They wanted to also understand how to run their businesses more effectively. And we did some interesting conversation, we had some interesting conversation with some of them, and things that resonated, different languages. What do you really want for your business? Everything boiled down on one thing. But let me just share some of the verbatim comments, right? And we heard things like, I want my business to blow, just using that local parlance, right? Wanting my business to blow is really ensuring that I thrive and I scale, right? And I see value. Of course, the most sophisticated ones, like the ones that we have here that's gone through the likes of the EDC program, will say, I want to grow my revenue, I want to improve my bottom line. But really, they are all saying the same thing, right? So we started to dig deeper and we went straight into our core focus, saying we want to enable businesses to grow, to thrive, and to scale. And that's what we are doing when we sit down with the SMEs. So we work with our foundation arm, and that's why we are also here, to ensure that we have that working relationship and we continue to understand your evolving needs and develop products and propositions that actually address. In fact, we do not like to call them products and propositions, we like to call them solutions that address your business needs. So just taking a cue from what I've said around the 4 major pillars, and what we've done over time is to now ask ourselves, because some very salient point has come out here today. I think the journalist asked a very vital question around, the micros that are not very learned. And, one of our directors have really given you some insight around some of the things that we do. But just to add that, the plan, and I think somebody alluded to it as well in part of the panelists, is that what we are doing, we are not trying to solve, it's a catalytic effect right? You train one and you ensure that it all goes down. When you get that micro person to work with you, that have the capacity to learn, right? Because you're literate. Now, over time, as they begin to learn from you, they now begin to also think about how they can be like you. And then they now start to upskill. I think that's the way we've taken some of these things. And so, what we've done from a value proposition point of view is to say, what do these guys actually really need? There is a community component of this thing that would actually help SMEs to stay together and grow together, right? I think it was also one of the panelists that said something around, if you want to go far, go alone. But if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go, with others. I think that's why we've also set up a platform, and please watch this space, where we are working actively with our ecosystem partners. One of the things that we have done and that we know is that we have the strength and we have the brand strength to actually be able to work with partners. Partners come to us because of some of the achievements that we've been able to achieve over the last 20 years. And so we are going to use these assets to ensure that we are using that to solve the problems of the SMEs. And that's the way we are positioning ourselves. There were a couple of things I liked today when as I said, I came in earlier, when I had some of the conversations. And it's really around positioning. And positioning for me means that when we do all of these things, you out there see us the way we intend you to see us. And really that's the way we want to. We want to be an enabler for SMEs. So what you expect from us and some of the things that we have started to design are actually solutions geared around solving some of these problems I spoke about. On the financing part of things, right, start with that, right? What you see today is a testament to that. In our own little way, is to work with you to provide cheap, remember I said cheap, seamlessly, something to get seamlessly to you. That's financing to you, right? Through all the registered and acknowledged vehicles like the banks, right? So you will see that 2.5% is not something that you can get out there, right? Our foundation has, and of course the board of the foundation has committed to making this happen, and that's why you see some of this happen. We're also going into collaboration with development financial institutions, also to ensure that we are bringing some of these things to your very front, because some of the things we found out over time is that SMEs don't actually know that these things exist. As I said, the engagements reveal quite a lot to us. So we are creating a platform that would also bring all of these available options, grants, schemes to the SMEs through this platform. And that platform that we are building is also going to have at the heart of it some engagement, active engagement for all SMEs. Because remember, as we said, if you want to go far, you go alone, but if you go with others and you have collaborators, you will definitely go far. As MTN and MTN Business, well, actually collaborating with ecosystem of partners along these 4 areas to solve these problems. On the market side, we have things from the ads to also exposing SMEs to even trying to actually take their goods and services outside the shores of Nigeria. So we are going into partnership with export experts to be able to build the capacity that is required for SMEs to be able to also do that. In the course of the program, we'll give you more, in-depth insight into how to access some of these things. On the business knowledge one, I don't want to overflog it. EDC is a partner to us in different areas. On the foundation is Y'ellopreneur. On the platform that I spoke about, the LMS is also planned to be integrated to that platform. And we're hoping to be able to expose this to all SMEs so that they grow their businesses. On access to infrastructure, we're also going into partnership, and some of the things we heard on the infrastructure leg is really logistics to get my things out there, right? Power. What we are doing, again, remember, we are not trying to we can't solve all the problems. But what we know that we have, the strength that we have, is our brand affinity and strength to be able to pull all of these ecosystem players that are already solving problems across these 4 areas and make them visible and accessible to yourself. And so we are doing all of that. We will spend time to actually run you through the details of the things that we have for you during the course of this session, especially for those who will be filling the application and who will be shortlisted for the program. I want to encourage everyone, especially the applicants, right, to please take this seriously. What you see is what you get with MTN. We have a very active board, as I said, that shows significant passion in whatever they believe. And this is one of the things that they put everything that we have behind. So on that note, I would like to thank you all for attending this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Charles Okonkwo, GM Enterprise Business, MTN. Coming up next, Mr. Obed Eshejo. Did I get it right? Mr. Obed, are you here? Okay. Please, a round of applause for him while he walks down gallantly. He's the manager, MoMo PSB, MTN.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. All protocols are observed. So I'm just going to talk to you about how you can actually expand your business. Beyond the fact that you are going to get the support from MTN, there is also other aspects that can actually allow your business to do more in terms of making more money and also be able to scale more your business very speedily. Maybe you know about MoMo before now, or maybe you don't. I'll give a context in terms of MoMo, what MoMo is about. I will talk about the problem we know about in Nigeria today, which is what is financial inclusion and exclusion in Nigeria, and what are some of the problems we are trying to solve within that space. Just go through, next two slides, please. So looking at Nigeria, we still have some issues in terms of financial inclusion. Next slide. We still have some issues in terms of financial inclusion. What that means is that we still have a lot of people in Nigeria that do not have access to financial services. What it means is that they don't have a bank account, they cannot easily be served, they are still having their cash at their houses. And you can remember some time back, that should be about a year or so ago, if my mind is not deceiving me, we have QR code. You have a QR code whereby you can just tell your customer to scan and be able to receive payment instantly. And guess what? Opening that account actually takes less than 30 seconds. So you can open that account within 30 seconds. If you have your phone, you can generate your own merchant ID, which is like your payments, an account that you can use to receive payment instantly. So imagine open an account and be able to operate it within 30 seconds. Certainly, once you want to be able to move from one tier of account, from tier 1 to tier 2, you might need to submit some other documentations like BVN and the rest of them. But instantly, you can have an account that you can start operating instantly. Beyond receiving payment for customers, you also have other benefits. For example, our services can make it to go global. You can be able to receive payment from other African countries. You can send money to other African countries without bothering about the conversion. If you want to send money from somebody in Nigeria to another, to maybe like South Africa, you can easily just send that money directly from your MoMo account, and the person in South Africa will receive that money also in South Africa. You can also receive money internally once you are able to do that payment. What that means is that your scope in terms of your business, you might sell online to people outside the country, and you can easily receive payment. So you can tell people that I can receive payment directly from MoMo if you are able to send money from MoMo. So you can do that inbound and outbound payment. Next two slides, please. Beyond the fact that you can, the next slide. Beyond that, you also have a way to also earn additional income. And I think Charles mentioned that you want to go to expand your business beyond the fact that what you're doing today, maybe you have a farm or you have a fashion house. You want to be able to make more money. How can you make more money without really bothering yourself that much? You don't need an extra space. You can make more money by serving other customers. You can easily be onboarded as a MoMo agent. So once you're a MoMo agent, as you're attending to your customers, they might need some services that are not just directly what you offer, but you can also be able to provide those services for them and also make more money. So it's an additional source of income. Maybe that can take care of some other little things you want to do, like you want to go to pay for rent and the rest. Maybe that can take care of your rent. So there's an opportunity for you to be able to make more money by onboarding yourself on MoMo. I will also talk about the fact that you can go fully digital from the very first time. You don't need to go take some time. And also you can also make money from like airtime if you want to sell airtime. So you don't necessarily have to do any other thing to sell airtime digitally. People can come to you and want to buy airtime, and you can make some income from that service also. Beyond the fact that your customers can also use the service, and they can also, you can get, once you onboard a customer on the service, you get an incentive. You are able to get a referral incentive when a your customer comes to you, open an account, you can also get a referral incentive for opening that account for that customer, which is also an additional way for you to make money. Also, your customers can also earn bonuses. So, for example, your customer wants to be able to buy airtime. They can get 100% bonus. You buy 1,000 naira airtime, you get 2,000 naira bonuses, which is an incentive also for your customers. So these are some of the services that we can offer, and additional things we can do for you to be able to make more money, for you to be able to do more in terms of going global, in terms of receiving payment from outside. You can also pay for services outside Nigeria. Probably the channel for you to make payment today for your services that you are getting from outside Nigeria might be you have to buy dollar and send the dollar to them, but you can easily actually pay directly from your MoMo account to those your vendors outside the country. So these are some of the services that MoMo allows you to be able to work with. I will be happy to actually take up your details in terms of those of you who want to open an account instantly. We can also support you directly through the foundation team members, whereby we can get your details and be able to onboard you on MoMo. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Obed Sejour, Manager, MoMo PSB, MTN. And thank you. Okay, so I think we've come to the very end. Are we tired? Do we want to run home? As long as you got a goodie bag, you're not meant to say yes. So are you tired? Mike, are we good? All right. Just want to say thank you to all who have, taken time out to hang out with us this far. We know you want to run, so we're coming to the end of the show finally. So please round of applause for yourselves for being this patient and waiting with us till the end. I wish I could take a picture with everybody, like just stand right here in the middle. Well, before I run out of breath, I remain yours truly, Bamidele Vivian Osage. You can find me everywhere on social media. But most importantly, don't forget, the call for applications is officially out. So if you have a sister, a mom, a cousin, a niece, as long as it's a female in your life, please feel free to share about the Y'ellopreneur initiative, okay? MTN is basically supporting the women in Nigeria, their future, and making sure that they're very good when it comes to business, the MTN Foundation and MTN. So thank you for that. Calling up on the podium right now is Mr. Joseph Akpata, the Manager, National Priority Portfolio. Mr. Joseph, for the closing remarks.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I've been introduced. I think I'll start with what she said. Thank you to everyone for your patience, for waiting till the very end. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend this event with us. I'll start by saying thank you to our government stakeholders. Then they've actually left, the Honorable Commissioner of the Ministry of Women Affairs. Thank you very much for coming and being a part of this program. Also, would like to say thank you to our directors, the MTN Foundation directors. They're present here. Thank you so much for that steadfast commitment, supporting all the initiatives that we do. The MTN Y'ellopreneur initiative is one of the flagship projects to us. Thank you for that support. Thank you for the commitment all the way. We really appreciate this. To our stakeholders and ecosystem partners, I want to sincerely thank Mrs. Amina Y'ellopreneur, the founder of Women in Success. Hello? Hello? Okay. Mrs. Amina Y'ellopreneur, thank you for joining us and for making this a success for us. To our ecosystem partners, they are all present here. I know we have Oracle, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Cisco. I can see all of you. Thank you for joining us. And our implementing partners on other initiatives that we do. I know there's Pisham here. Thank you for joining us. And before I go on to the press, I just want to mention that we've also called you here to be part of this program because we're going to be working together in leveraging, promoting this particular initiative. As you all know, the call for application starts today. It's going to run for a period of 4 weeks. So we'll be coming to you to leverage your platforms to create that awareness. So let's have more of these women get to know about the Y'ellopreneur initiative. So please oblige us that space. To the press, thank you so much. You've been with us all along. Other initiatives that we do, you helping us to tell the stories and all of that. Thank you for coming, and we do hope that you help us spread this good news pan Nigeria, because this is an initiative that is across the country. I noticed Zenith Bank is also here, one of the commercial banks that we have, reputable commercial banks. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your participation. And to everyone, generally, thank you so much, and we wish everyone successful journey back to their various destinations. But please remember, we'll come back to you. Let's leverage Y'ellopreneur initiative to where it ought to get to. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I think we'll be having the photo session now.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph Apata, Manager, National Priority Portfolio. Okay, it's time for us to take some pictures and shine our teeth. Oh, yes, you can. The pictures for everybody. Okay, so we're using Mr. Joseph, we're using the wall outside to take pictures, yeah? The media wall. Okay, so just right outside so we can take some cool pictures. Please feel free to tag MTN Nigeria and of course MTN Foundation when you take those pictures and post on. You can use the hashtag Y'ellopreneur as well. So we see how far it goes. Thank you.
Y'ellopreneur impacted my business a whole lot.
I got a 2 million naira grant with MTN, and with that grant, I was able to get equipment for my business.
I took up this application and I got funded for my business.
Join the ranks of visionary women who will be shaping the future. If you want your business to flourish, MTN is ready to support you. Y'ellopreneur Phase 2 will see 1,000 female entrepreneurs go through entrepreneurship skills training, and 150 business women will secure funding support of up to 3